You are now listening to Playbook Radio. Here is your host, Martin Williams.
Hey, welcome to Playbook Radio. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. All the links can be found at gameplanplaybook.com. That's gameplanplaybook.com. A long time ago, I got really interested in the mind, and I was fascinated by why certain people were more successful than others, and why so many people struggle and fail to do the things that they want to do. And I realized pretty quickly in my study that it's mental makeup, it's mindset. I didn't call it mindset at the time, but as years went on and mindset became a very popular thing to talk about, it became more evident that that's really all it is. I truly believe that mindset is at minimum 80% of a person's success. It really is from the neck up. The good news is that you can start from a disadvantaged background. Maybe you come from a background where your parents weren't successful for whatever reason. No shade, of course. Or maybe your family wasn't successful. You may have come from very humble beginnings, but honestly, the older I get, the more I realize that, that doesn't matter as much. We make it matter a lot more than it actually does. What matters is what you do with the real estate between your ears, because if you understand how to reshape your mind, then you can build anything. And that takes me to today's topic, the life you want to build. You can build it, but you got to build it one brick at a time. And more to the point, you build it in your mind first. I think a lot of people go about life wrong. And it's not because they should know better, because who's going to tell you? I learned that hard work is the key to success. Many people in my generation learned that. I'm Generation X, so we were taught by baby boomers. And the baby boomers taught us that hard work is the key to success. And that hard work is going to determine whether you make it or not. And for the longest time, I believed that. And to a degree, I still believe it, but it's more nuanced than that. I believe it's more complicated than that. And when I say complicated, I mean it's not just work hard, but work hard on a different plane. You can work hard with your hands, but when you start doing mental work can be even harder. The rewards are higher because you're working on a higher plane than someone who's just doing manual labor. Mental labor is more rewarding than manual labor as a rule, but a lot of people never learn how to labor with their mind. Or when they do, they might be far advanced in life and age when they finally realize that if there's something you want to do in life, you build it in your mind first. And the way that you build it in your mind is you go to the end. When you're working with your hands, you start at the beginning. But when you're working with the mind, you start at the end. You go to the end result, and then you work backwards. For example, Jim Thorpe, who's regarded as one of the greatest athletes that ever lived, played football in the NFL in college, but he was also an Olympic gold medalist. One time when he was on his way to a track and field meet, he needed to practice. Back then, they traveled on ships. Air travel wasn't really a thing like it is now. His coach told him that he needed to practice. So Jim Thorpe had his coach draw lines on the ship deck. He then laid in a hammock and went to sleep. Later on, he explained that he had visualized himself jumping past those lines. Because he was a long jumper and a triple jumper, he visualized jumping across those lines over and over again on the ship. When he got to the meet and competed, he won and got the gold medal. It seems silly, but a lot of times people don't understand how things are actually built. You build it with your mind. You can go all throughout history. Nikola Tesla, the car is named after him. He would work out equations in his mind. He was an elite mathematician, and he would work it out in his mind before he worked it out in the laboratory. He would work it out perfectly in his mind, and in the laboratory, it basically mirrored what happened in his mind. Okay? So maybe you don't want to be an Olympian, maybe you don't want to be a mathematician, maybe you just want to be a better father or a better husband or a better employee at your job. Maybe you want your business to be better than what it is now. The same concept applies. You work it out in your mind and you build it there. But again, you build it from the end. You decide, what type of business do I want? What type of results do I want? Where do I want my business to go? I think about it for my coaching practice. Where do I want Playbook strategies to go? I want Playbook strategies to go all around the world. I want to work with people on all continents. I want to work in all sports, not just American sports. I want to work with teams in Europe and in Asia and in Africa. I want to work with corporations all around the world. So I think about how far I want this thing to go. And in my mind, I begin to visualize how far this can go. I take it a step further then and start building the practice in my mind. And over again, I see different things. I see the types of things that we're doing and the types of people we're working with. In time, these things will manifest. These things will come. These things will work out in real time, but it starts in the mind. Far too often, we're trying to build with our hands, and that's fine. But if you want to do higher work, if you want to achieve higher things, you have to build it in the mind. If you're an athlete and you're hitting a wall with your performance, instead of working harder, maybe it's time to take it to another level mentally. See yourself as the best player on the team, the best player in your district, the best player in the state or in the country, whatever it is that you're doing. See yourself as a champion. You start there. You go straight to the top, and then you start working backwards. How do I need to train? How do I need to prepare? How do I need to study in order to get to where I want to get to? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are working their way up. But one thing that often happens is that they get tired because they haven't really counted the cost. It's a biblical principle. You don't know how much it's going to cost to get there. But when you go straight to the top and you stay there and you look down, you see, okay, these are the things I need to do to make the return trip. There's a saying in the NFL, when players score a touchdown, they tell them, act like you've been there before. Well, if you work on a mental plane, then you have been there before. If you see yourself getting a touchdown and you score again, it's like, yeah, I've been there before. It's not my first time there. If you see yourself in that new house, you say, yeah, I've been there before. It's not my first time there. I remember when we were trying to move into an apartment in a really nice neighborhood. The realtor was trying to tell us that the landlord wouldn't accept the offer because my credit wasn't good enough. My credit wasn't great, but I could afford the apartment. I didn't have any evictions or anything like that. So I said, okay, I had just started getting into visualization and Neville Goddard and the imagination. And I said, okay, I'm going to try it here. So I did. I just saw myself living there. I saw us living there. And eventually we ended up living there. It didn't matter what the guy said. This is powerful and it works. It works in different areas, but you have to work it. You have to build it. If you want to build something, instead of starting by building with your hands, you start building in your mind. You go straight to the top. You go straight to the end. And you live in the end. And then you reverse engineer and start to realize these are the things that I need to do. It's not necessarily about working hard. It's about working smart and not doing a bunch of things that are irrelevant to success. Whether it's obtaining success or remaining successful. Rather, it's about taking that next step and doing the relevant things to get you where you need to get to. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Playbook Radio. If this episode helped you, please share it with family and friends. For more about Playbook strategies, please go to GameplanPlaybook.com.